Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about self-love and the importance of it. I decided to do this topic because it's something that needs to be talked about more often, in my own opinion, and it will help you in the long term. So I did write a list. I wrote some notes down of things that I wanted to talk about, because if not, I'm gonna scramble and be all over the place, and it's better this way. So this is also me talking about my perspective on self-love and what it means to me. Self-love is an important part of life that people usually push aside or don't care for even loving themselves. Oftentimes, self-love is not about becoming a perfect human or living a sinless human, because even those who walk in God's path still sin, not because we are bad, but because we are human and simply not perfect. So for a long time, I didn't love myself or even know what it meant to love myself. And a lot of people to this day don't even know what it means to love yourself. I tried to take my own life in the past because I did not love myself and I had very low self-esteem. I also let myself punish myself for my trauma and for being raped. I used to cut my skin and even had eating disorders as a little girl because I let what people had to say about me become true in my head, and I felt as if I would never be enough. This is why it's important to love yourself so you don't punish yourself like I did, or even by the way you talk to yourself. Most of the time, nobody's judging you more than you judge yourself. Most of the time, people aren't even judging you, you're just judging yourself in your head. What does self-love mean to me? It means to forgive yourself for everything you have done and forgive others. And what I mean by forgiving others is for your own self, so you will not keep living in the past. What happened in the past happened, and you can no longer change it, but you can always have the choice to grow from it and let it make you stronger, or let it just take you down. Self-love is about accepting the good and the flaws and showing love to all parts of yourself, even when you are not having a good day. Those are the most important days to show up for yourself. Showing up for yourself, but also knowing when it's okay to take a break because you deserve it. It's about just being you and not caring what others or anybody has to say about you. Being kind to yourself and talking to yourself with kindness. Taking care of yourself and not waiting for someone to do things for you. Self-love is also not a destination, but a journey. So please embrace it. Embrace the good days, embrace the bad days, because not every day is meant to be good and not every day is meant to be bad. And if you are going through something right now, it doesn't last forever, so keep your head up and it will soon pass. Most people, when they get in depression, they tend to focus on the bad part that's going on right now. But if you look at your life as a whole, most of it was actually really good, and try to look at things as they are happening for you and for your self-growth and for you to evolve, and not so much as they are happening to you. And everyone has their own struggles, believe it or not, so don't judge other people for how they look or the way they're dressed, or don't judge them at all, because you don't know what they're going through and you don't know what they're dealing with in their head. So this is a list of things of what I did to start loving myself. I forgave myself and others so I don't have to hold on to the past, and I won't hold any grudges towards myself or any other people. I cut off people that no longer serve my highest good and only keep the people in my life that show up for me even when I'm not okay. So you want to have a support system that shows up for you even when you're not doing good, because that's somebody that's there for you actually when you're not at your best. You know, if they stay when you're not at your best, then they're gonna stay for you for your best, and those are the people that you should take with you when you're doing good, you know. If they're not there for you when you need them the most, then don't just cut them off. I realized if I don't learn to love myself, I will hurt the people I love, and I can't be the best version of myself for my son, and he deserves it the most. My son, after he was born, I just wanted to become better for him, and my whole life did change that day when I had him, and it made us have a bond like no other bond that I've ever had in my life. So for him, I give him the most thanks because he's the reason that I wanted to learn to love myself is for him. And if you're watching this in the future, I love you so much, Kai. I started praying to the universe and God because in order for me to grow, I had to believe in something greater than myself, and it also helped me keep hope and faith that even things will be okay if they're not okay in the moment. So yeah, I feel like believing in something and praying. So don't forget to stay prayed up, guys. Go pray. I started to journal and let my feelings out so I wouldn't suppress my emotions. So sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't do this. Sometimes I just journal instead of a piece of paper. I grab my phone and have this app where I take care of myself. It's like a self-care pet, and I journal in there, whatever I'm feeling. Or you can also do it by pencil and paper, and I think that's also an amazing, great way to do it. I think journaling is important because you're letting out all those emotions that you're feeling inside and just finding a way to let them out. Or talking to a friend or anything, or somebody that you trust. Or if you go to therapy, go talk to your therapist about it. But it's important to not suppress your emotions because they will come out. And believe it or not, a lot of the times people take it out on the people that they love the most because they just let those emotions bottle up inside. So that's how they let it out. Like, I don't know if they can control it or not, but you know, it just, all these bottled up emotions, you're waiting for it, like one last little thing. And it could be anything that sets you off, because when you bottle everything, it's gonna boom explode and you're gonna take it out on whatever, whoever. So always find a way to let your emotions and stress out, whether it's going on a walk, on a run, exercising, journaling, anything for your mind and mental health. Do it. When I'm not feeling well, I try to meditate and dig within because everything is within us, even love. We don't need to search for it when we already have it. So, yes, one of my favorite meditations is I just sit down on the floor or wherever, and it's a guided meditation for self love. And I just sit there, listen to the lady who's speaking. At some point, she says to hug yourself and as tight as you can, and that's what I do because how many of the times, like, you wait for somebody else to hug you or you want to be hugged, but you can literally hug yourself. Like, have you ever thought of hugging yourself? A lot of people don't think of that, but I think it's incredible. I found this like meditation years ago, so when I started hugging myself, it felt great because like I'm showing myself that I can be there for myself when others can't be there for me, and not everybody's gonna be there for you in the way that you want them to, because everybody has their wounds. Nobody is raised the same either. So if you want to be loved a certain way, love yourself how you want to be loved. Like in my family, we're not really that physical. We didn't grow up being so much in physical touch, like hugging or kissing on the cheek and stuff. I do that with my son, but I didn't grow up doing all of that stuff. So I love giving myself hugs. Very healing as well. I also started to work out and exercise with my sister, and that has helped a lot with mental and physical health because your physical health is just as important as your mental health. and they both go together. So the last one is I let my emotions out if I have to cry, and then I cry if it's in front of people. I just let it out sometimes because my emotions are very important. I am important. My feelings are valid, and it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. Y'all don't always have to hold in your emotions. Don't judge yourself so much, you know? I feel like people care too much sometimes and they don't want to cry in front of other people because they don't want to seem weak. But honestly, the person who's crying in front of somebody else, look at how strong that is as well, because it took them a lot to be vulnerable in front of other people. So don't judge other people if you see them crying, because you don't know what they're going through, and maybe you should ask them if they're okay instead of judging them. I think loving yourself is also very important because not only does it affect you and your day-to-day life, but it also affects the people around you. And sometimes there's healthy people in your life and you try to push them out because you are not showing that love to yourself. So sometimes you treat others not the best because you're not treating yourself nice. It affects all relationships, including with your kids, your parents, your family, your co-workers, your neighbors, whatever. Learn to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love somebody else. And if you do love somebody else and you don't love yourself, it's not real love. You know, somebody who is struggling with mental health and they show up for you, you should check on them because you never know what they are going through. And sometimes people change certain behaviors and it's because they're not doing so well. So check up on those people who have behavior shifts and try to be there for them if they are there for you. Don't be there for somebody who is not there for you. And don't be there for people who take advantage of you, because that's also going to affect your mental health, and that's not part of loving yourself. Part of loving yourself is respecting yourself. When you learn to love yourself and heal yourself, and you're working on healing yourself, you can encourage other people as well to want to heal themselves. Like, hurt people hurt people. Healed people can also heal people because that person has been working on themselves for some time. So they're probably going to give you good advice because they've worked on themselves, they've done the work and know what it's like. So those people will want to help you go through whatever you're going through. But don't try to heal everybody, because not everybody wants to be healed, and it's not your responsibility or your job to heal other people. If they want to heal themselves, then they will, and they will want to take your advice. But not everybody wants your advice, not everybody wants to work on themselves, and that's okay. But don't force it on other people to want to work on themselves, because not everybody wants to work on themselves. And that's something that I was learning. Well, I started learning to love myself, and when I got on my self-love journey, I wanted to help other people as well heal themselves, and that's not how it works. So let me save you and tell you, don't help people that don't want to be helped. Just walk away. So what I notice a lot is that people will say they will die for their kids, but will you heal yourself for your kids? Will you do the inner work for your kids? Will you want to be a better version of yourself for your kids? Because that also um, goes into role and affects them and how they grow up as well. However they see you taking out your emotions or whatever you're doing, they see that as an example, and how they're gonna grow up is probably gonna be the same. They're gonna probably act the same it's really important to do that inner work, not only for yourself, but if you have kids, for them as well, because they're looking up to you. And don't you want your kids to love themselves and think good about themselves? I hear so many kids saying negative things about themselves, and it's sad because I know that they had to get that from somewhere. So please work on yourself, not only for yourself, but for the people around you and the relationships that you have in your life, and most importantly for yourself as well, because you are the person that's going to be there for you. You're the only person that's going to be there for you for the rest of your life. And don't you want to at least be your best friend in this lifetime and get to know yourself and love yourself? I want you guys to love yourselves and remember that it's not a destination, it's a journey. Embrace the journey of self-love. And also, part of loving yourself is getting some good sleep, self-care, and eating good as well. Eating 3 meals a day and eating healthy. I'm gonna say I don't eat the healthiest, but I am eating healthier than I was. I cut out soda. I have mostly been trying to drink water, and food wise, I've been eating more fruits, so you know. But, anyways, remember to eat healthy as well. Gotta get those proteins in. If you're working out, especially, you need nutrients because your body's gonna give up on you and just burn out if you're not eating the right amount of foods. So, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, self love is the best love.